Um, Today we're going to be interviewing David Schmidt. He has a company, Lifewave, and I'm telling you all, this is one of the most amazing products, if not the most amazing product I've ever that I've ever used or come across. David, I've been with you. Let's see, I started, I don't know, like 3 months ago, and I've noticed quite a difference. But I've got so many of my friends and employees where it's made these remarkable, I call them little mini miracles in their health and everything. Why don't we start with who you are and how Lifewave got started?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Really pleasure and appreciate your time. So my background is I'm an inventor and entrepreneur. I've been developing products for most of my career. And back in the 90s, I had a company and we were designing survival equipment for the U.S. Navy through government contractors. And I was put on a project where we were looking to improve the survivability of a crew of Navy SEALs that were going to be on a mini sub. And I was asked to see what type of contribution I might be able to make to the project. So long story short, I did several years of research and I came up with this concept that we could create a device to increase energy and stamina by burning more fat on the body and then do that with light. So I started Lifewave in 2002 and we went to market in 2004 and it's been going incredible ever since.
Wow. Okay. But now, can you explain what these, I've got in my hand here. I don't know if we can show that. These, they come, everybody, in these little, they're like these little patches you put on. And I've got one on the back of my neck right now and one on my stomach. And so I guess what is Lifewave? What is phototherapy? I mean, there's a couple of different words here that I just use them. I'm not real familiar with how they all work, but can you tell us how they work and is there patents on them? I mean, kind of get into the actual product itself.
Yeah, sure. So this is a technology that I invented and we have multiple patents on. I currently have over 130 patents globally on this technology, along with other things that I've invented over the years. And basically, this is a nanotechnology device. It composes natural materials that are such things as stereoisomers of amino acids and sugars, and they're processed in a very specific way so that when you apply these devices to your body, they are activated by your body heat and they will stimulate the skin with very low levels of light. So this is a form of phototherapy. So what most people would be familiar with is you go out in the sun and sunlight will cause your body to make vitamin D. So there's this interaction between the human body and light. And what we've done is we've applied this principle in a completely different way. So the product that you're familiar with, which you're using, and your staff is getting great results with, is X39. And this product stimulates the skin with light to activate the stem cells in the body, and this helps support a number of natural things like improving skin, improving energy, and so forth.
When the X39, so they, like, everybody, if you can see this on the camera here, they all come in these little patches. You peel them off and then you'll put them on different parts of your body here. When you say it reflects light, and I'm going back to what you had told me, reflecting light. Let's talk about the stem cells. So does it actually help your stem cells, multiply stem cells, or what is it? What is it actually doing?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So back maybe around 50 years ago, a biochemist by the name of Laurent Picard discovered a naturally occurring peptide in the body that declines with age. And the name of this peptide is called GHKCU. It's also known as copper peptide. And so there is a parallel between decline of copper peptide levels in our body and a decrease in stem cell activity. So what's been discovered is that copper peptide causes mobilization or activation of stem cells. Copper peptide is also a very powerful gene of the human genome to a younger, healthier state. So very simply, you apply X39, and we have clinical studies that show that after you apply it, within 24 hours, blood levels of copper peptide goes up. So it's just like the example, you go out in the sun, sunlight elevates vitamin D, you put on X39, it elevates copper peptide. These elevated levels of copper peptide in turn activate the stem cells so they can do a better job at repairing the body.
Right on. Okay, then you have another one. I'm just telling my audience, this is the X39, everybody, but there's also, there's many of them. I'm going to go to one that's worked really well with, I have a gal that she had so many stories already that I've heard that at first you're finding, how can this work? How can these little patches work? But one of them is it's called the Lifewave patch, and that's it's the pain one. Now, why does that one work different than an X39? Is there different material on there? Does it still work with the phototherapy? And is it, well, I have another question. Let's go with that first.
Okay,
I have a lot
sure.
of questions about the pain one, because I've seen it work. I've heard it from my employees. I have one that amazing story where she couldn't, she has metal in her neck and all this stuff, and she was in chronic pain, 2 car accidents, and she's one of the biggest ones going around going, you won't believe it, it's a miracle, it's a miracle. So can you tell us what is that one, particularly the Lifewave?
Yeah, so Lifewave I developed back in 2005, and this also is a phototherapy product. So all of our patches work based on phototherapy, and to your point, each one contains different materials that stimulate the skin with different wavelengths of light. And we have over a dozen studies on Lifewave. One of them we did at General de Santé Hospital in Lyon, France. And we did that with the most well-known pain management medical doctor in France, Dr. Pierre Volkmann. And that was a clinical study that was double-blind, placebo-controlled with 75 people. And 96% of the people in the study got relief of pain. So that's extraordinary, because usually pharmaceutical drugs, 40%, 50%, 60%. This was 96% responders. And the only thing we're doing is stimulating the skin with light. So it essentially, what this product does is it improves energy metabolism within the cell. And because there's 2 Lifewave patches that you apply around the pain, what this does is it normalizes tissue conductivity and reduces inflammation. So within 2-3 minutes, people can get drug-free reduction in pain.
Right. Now, is that another question that's come to me? I'm just getting it from different people, because they you get people that are skeptical, and and then they're surprised when it does work. And one of the things they say is it relieving the pain? It's not. Is it relieving, or basically, it's relieving the pain? I get that, but is it curing it, or is it just masking the pain? These are questions I get all the time. Now, the gal I told you about with her neck, she doesn't use that one anymore, and because it's gone.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just saying her individual experience. I'm asking you, is it, or do you know, is it more of is it doing both sometimes, or go ahead.
Yeah, it's not an analgesic like a drug, like aspirin or Tylenol, right? So it's not masking the pain. And we're not building a model here, a business model like the pharmaceutical companies. We don't want people dependent on our products. These products are designed to facilitate healing. The human body is always going to heal itself. The question is, can you provide the right environment? So when people get proper rest, they get a great diet, they exercise, they drink lots of water, take their vitamins, you're providing the environment for healing. So that's what these patches are doing. They're stimulating the skin with light to help support the human body's innate ability to heal. So with light, this improves energy production within the cell. This then in turn helps to normalize tissue conductivity by reducing inflammation, and this reduces pain. So this is not blocking the pain, it's not an analgesic, it's supporting the process of relieving the pain as nature intended.
Wow, that's actually really good news, actually, because I've been asked that and I haven't had the right answer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My simple things to these questions are, I don't know, which brings up one here. Since a lot of people are going to be seeing this, I always I get asked, how about the FDA? Is it approved by that? Is it, you know, what can other people say? Like all Christina does is, that's her name. I had the pain in her neck, so to speak, and then it's gone. She's just going around telling what her experience. But do the clinical studies back up claims, and is the FDA approved, or do they have to approve it, or because you're not really taking anything you're just putting a patch on. So can you explain that somewhat?
Yeah. So we've been in business now since 2002, and we went to market in 2004. So we get inspected by FDA roughly once every 2 years. And we operate a global business, so we have facilities all over the world. So we comply with Irish Medicine Board, with ministries of health in various countries, and with FDA. So with FDA, we're regulated as a general wellness product. So FDA has 4 categories: Class 1, 2, and 3. Class 1 is a self-declaration. Class 2 would be a medical device, and Class 3 is a drug. The other class, which we're in, is general wellness. So the FDA has a guiding document and basically says if you have a product that improves the flow of energy in the body and you are not making medical claims, then you can self-declare under this category. So that's what we've done, and we haven't had an issue with FDA.
Right.
The other thing with FTC, which is a different matter,
Right.
there you've got to have clinical studies that support the claims. So over the past 20 years, we've done over 80 clinical studies, and we've done traditional blood, urine, and saliva testing to document, also do a variety of different types of bioelectrical tests like heart rate variability, EEG, and they all demonstrate that the products are safe and they do exactly what we say.
Okay, let's talk about the FTC. For anyone out there that's not familiar, it's when you do commercials and stuff, everybody on TV, and any claims you make have to be backed up. So when you see me out there with my pillow products and we'll make a claim made in the USA, that's got to be backed up. We make a claim that it does whatever it does, that it improves your sleep it's actually when you get into very specific claims, where you need to have that backed up by, like you say, a clinical study. Can you give us a couple things that can be said, big things that could be said right now that's backed by a clinical study? Something, has it been proven to reduce your inflammation, stuff like that? Is there?
Yeah.
What can you
absolutely. Say? So for a really complete list, if people go to our website, lifewave.com, and they click on the product pages, then they'll see for each product the approved claims that we have. So for example, with IceWave, we're claiming that it is a tool for managing pain. That's the proper, legal language that we use with it. Our energy patches improve the flow of energy. They actually, what's based on clinical studies is they actually improve and increase the amount of energy that's in the cell. They increase the flow of energy through the body. Our Eon patch relieves stress, reduces inflammation, and as a result helps to manage pain. So we have all of those claims documented on our website.
So the website that I can put, and I'll be posting up here all the claims that can be made that are backed by clinical studies, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're on your website, I can say it, right?
if it's on your if it's on my website, you can say it, and it's backed by a clinical study, which is also on the websites.
Okay, that's awesome. And I know one thing. So let's go back to and you got, and there's so many different ones, everyone. And I've never, like I said before, I've given this my own due diligence, of using it every day. I've used them every day, and I've noticed improvements of so many improvements myself that just personally, but heard so many stories. I've never heard not one negative about the product at all.
Your skin has improved since the first time we spoke. You must get
that's what I was going to
People
say.
say that, right?
My biggest thing has been my skin. I can tell that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess a couple other questions. If I skip a day, or if you forget a couple of days, do you lose the momentum you have, or is it you pick up where it leaves off? I guess something's better than nothing, or what's
It's
that
like,
question? That's another question I have from someone.
yeah, it's interesting, right? So it's like vitamins. So when you take it, you're getting the benefit. If you go off it, you gradually start to lose those benefits. So
Right.
we did studies on this on our glutathione patch. And glutathione is the body's master antioxidant, and it helps to protect us against toxins in our food, air, and water. And what was very interesting was we did a study. This was with Dr. Homer Nazaran, who's a biomedical engineer, and at the time he was at the University of Texas in El Paso. And we used a technique called interstitial scanning. And we use this to measure the bioelectrical activity of the organs in the body. But anyway, long story short is what we found was that using the glutathione patch 7 days per week gave about twice the benefits of wearing it 5 days per week. And what this said to us is we're being bombarded by all these foreign chemicals in our air and our water and our food. So we have to maintain our glutathione levels all the time to really get the most benefit. So if you skip a day or two, it's not going to be catastrophic, certainly. But the message here was that if we want to have the healthiest lives possible and live as long as possible, we need to be having a proper diet, drinking water, exercising every day, right? If possible.
Okay. Well, you brought up the glutathione. That's the one. Now, here's another question that comes up, because I've been using the glutathione, but I've been switching off with, it starts with a C,
carnosine. Yeah.
Now, why would my question would be then, because the carnosine, what is the carnosine one? That's more of a brain clarity type thing.
Well, carnosine is probably one of the most important nutrients that most people have never heard of, and they're not doing anything about. Carnosine is a very simple molecule. It's a 2 amino acid peptide, and it's found in the brain, in the heart, and the skeletal muscle, and in the skin, but it protects the telomeres in our cells from shrinking. So in animal tests, in mammal tests with, let's say, mice and rats, you can actually get a 30 to 40% increase in lifespan by giving these animals carnosine. So what we found in our studies, we did a study with Dr. Lisa Tully, where we showed that using the carnosine improves strength and stamina. We did a study with Dr. Tom and Helen Budzinski, which showed that with people over the age of 60, we could reverse age-related cognitive decline with carnosine, and we did it in only 30 days. So carnosine is incredibly important for our health and longevity and our stamina and strength. Okay,
which brings up my next question then. So I was recommended, and I'm going to ask a couple different questions about the recommendations of different things. But I would take in the 39. Can a person take a 39, a carnogen, and a glutathione every day, all three patches at the same time every day? I've had different people tell me different things.
Yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't. Now, for full disclosure, which is very important, is that the X39 will provide a mild increase in glutathione levels. When I say mild, it's about a 30 to 40% increase. We've had studies with our glutathione patch which show as much as a 300% increase in glutathione. So what I would say is that if someone was interested in going through a detox, let's say they've been a smoker, they have a poor diet, don't exercise, use the glutathione patch for a detox, but on maintenance, you could just use the X30s 5 to 7 days per week.
Okay. So let's go back to glutathione. When you go into a detox, do you suggest 7 days, 14 days? I mean, what would be a good, or a month every day of that if you were doing a detox thing?
Yeah, so that depends on what you're trying to detox from. And I've done, 1-hour webinars on this subject. So there's detoxes for heavy metals, for plastics, for parasites, the forever chemicals. So it depends on what you're trying to get out of your body. Spike protein, there's detoxes now for people that have vaccine regret. So it depends on what you're trying to get out of your body.
So if it was, let's say it was vaccine regret, that'd be the what would you take? Because that's been brought to me too. What would a person take if you had vaccine regret? The E39 and the glutathione?
Well, first of all, I can't make medical claims about the patches.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, so what I'm going to refer to is Dr. Peter McCullough, who's a very well-known medical doctor in this field.
A friend of mine, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm only going to say great things about him, and that's why I'm referencing his work. But so what Dr. McCullough would recommend in this case would be N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine is a amino acid, and it's used to elevate glutathione. Also nattokinase and bromelain, which is a digestive enzyme. So what was found in a Japanese study is that nattokinase is capable of dissolving the spike protein, and the combination of N-acetylcysteine and bromelain is also capable of digesting or eliminating the spike protein, either from COVID or from one of the mRNA vaccines. So that's what I would recommend that people do because it's well documented now.
Okay. So let's take so for if I was going to take the E39 and the carnitine, is there any? This is just for me now personally. You're taking them. If I'm taking them 2 daily, is there another one that I personally would want to take? Being 61 years old, I don't have any. Other than that, I don't smoke, don't drink. That's long behind me. What would be? Is there any other thing of those to recommend with the person? It's just basically, I don't have any pains. I don't have, and then that's my question on that. And then I also have a question on the night one. We'll talk on that the next question. But
yeah, so there's a couple of possibilities here. What I'd say is if you're using X39 and carnosine during the day, that's fine. I'd also recommend using the Eon patch at night. That would be a really nice product to add. And so Eon reduces stress. And when we look at how the human body ages, one of the complicating factors is stress, right? So we all have stress in our lives. We could have long work hours. We could be under, any different types of physical or emotional stress. But over time, this has a detrimental effect on our bodies if it's a negative stressor. An example of positive stressors would be things like intermittent fasting and exercise, right? So exercise is we're applying a stress to the muscle, and this actually can reset maybe about 77, 78 genes to a more youthful state. And of course, it helps to maintain muscle mass and bone density. But there are, of course, negative stresses, and this leads to shortened lifespan and perceptible signs of aging. So what the Eon patch does is it helps to manage and reduce stress, put the body into a balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic drive, and this has an effect of reducing inflammatory markers in the body. So that would be one I would recommend. You could take the Eon patch, just apply it, let's say, on the right side of the neck where a lot of people hold tension, and you're going to find it improves the quality of your sleep, and it helps to manage your stress better during the day.
Right. And I have used that one. That's actually actually what I've been doing. So
Okay.
they so I guess I've been doing it right. Other than I'll just be doing the cartridge and all every day now. I guess one of the last questions is the X49. I know a lot for. What is that? Everyone asked me about that too.
Yeah, so that's a daughter product, I would call it, to X39. You could say X39 is the parent and X49 is the daughter. And so X39 elevates GHK-Cu, copper peptide. X49 elevates AHK-Cu. It's a subtle difference. X39 is based off of the amino acid glycine, and X49 is based off the amino acid alanine. And it's a very subtle difference, but basically what we found was that the X49 can help to improve bone density and improve strength and stamina. And we also believe that it improves cognition. So if, let's say, someone were an athlete and they wanted to improve their strength and stamina, X49 would be a great way to do that. If we have, let's say, women over the age of 50, they're concerned about bone loss, X49 can help preserve their bone.
Okay. Another question, as long as you said that, if I'm a person that has forgetfulness, I don't want to use any medical things, but they're starting to forget things. Is there something a combination that would be better than others for their mental clarity or for remembering?
Yeah, Mike, this is what's so exciting. I turned 60 this year. And I'm an inventor by trade. And I'm also at this point, running a big company. So the type of things that I think about is how can I hold on to my mental clarity and my cognition and memory, right? And so fortunately, over the years, we've done a lot of clinical studies. And you picked the two best products, X39 and carnosine, because we have studies showing how both of those products improve cognition.
Okay.
But there's a lot of other things that people can do. One really important thing is DHA. So DHA is found in fish like salmon. It's an essential fatty acid, and it can be obtained in a supplement. It's an omega-3 fatty acid, right? So you can get it from salmon or algae. Other nootropics that are out there for improving cognition. And again, we can spend a lot of time, kind of going through all of them. But the basic thing is that there are nutritional answers to improving cognition. People don't have to resort to drugs, and they certainly don't have to resign themselves to declining mental faculties. Another really quick example is creatine. Creatine is very inexpensive, commonly available, and it's most known as being a product that improves muscle mass. Bodybuilders use it to improve strength and muscle mass. However, the brain uses creatine as part of its energy production cycle. So creatine has been shown to help improve cognition. So things like X39, carnosine, omega-3 fatty acids, creatine are just a few examples of what people can do to improve memory and cognition.
Thank you. Okay. Where are the patches made? Everyone keeps asking me that. Are they made in the USA or?
Made in the USA.
What? I already knew that, everybody. I already knew that.
But again, for full disclosure, we did open a manufacturing plant in Ireland back in 2010. But we started right here in the U.S. and we still make them in the U.S. And as an American entrepreneur, I'm very proud of that.
Right. And I will tell this to everybody. This is you're going to find them. You chose to do a multi-level marketing versus going to traditional marketing that I've I'm kind of an anomaly at My Pillow. I mean, kind of, being able to go sustain ads on TV. And we've had to, back in the day when I had My Pillow, it was very hard because you can't say on TV what it really does until studies are done and everything. Is that the reason that you with the multi-marketing basically because it's such a word of mouth product? Is that kind of why, or what was your reasons for choosing that?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to stay in my lab and be an inventor. I didn't want to get involved with running a company. And, you know, 'cause I had been in negotiations with the GNC to do a distribution deal, and no one could really understand the vision that I was painting of where this could go. They just saw it as
Right.
a product. And with network marketing, the most compelling thing to me was I had a product that I could demonstrate immediately. So on the IceWave product, if it's used properly, you can see pain relief in 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh,
And if the
absolutely.
product was sitting on a retail shelf, people would never understand it. So
Right.
that, to me, that's been the single biggest advantage is the word of mouth selling.
Right. And being able to hear from other people, like I just, that's what I did 3 months ago. I said, okay, here's all, a lot of my employees, and all we heard was one success after another. And I'm afraid to always say them because it almost becomes a claim, but hey, this is a
Right.
miracle,
Right.
Yeah, so you kind of gotta get it to yourself to try it out there. So I guess what I want to say here is we've set up a website, lindellteam.com. If any of you out there are interested in knowing more about it, go to lindellteam.com, and I'm going to have a whole staff of people that now can answer more questions or and help you out there. And I am going to post the claims we can that you have on your website. I'll get them up, David, and I just want to take this to a whole new level because I've had my 3 months of testing now, and it's like that song. I feel good. I knew that I would. Yeah. I know my niece. She said to me, she's the one that first got me involved with you on that first call, and she said, of all the products Mike's ever brought to me, she runs my store, and and she runs it over there. And she said, of all the products, this is the best one by far.
Oh, wow.
And so she's pretty excited. She's really brought it to a new level here. And then you hear from, they tell two friends, they tell two friends, they tell two friends, so on. So I'm everything you told me 3 months ago, I'm more than happy. It's even above where my expectations were. So now I just want, it's a product that I helped. I want to thank you for inventing it, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And thank you for everything that you're doing to help take our country back. It's just unbelievably important. And I really appreciate it. My family appreciates, as your customer too, with My Pillow. We really appreciate everything that you're doing. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And we will get the country back, everybody. Mark my words. So, well, thanks, David. And God bless you and everything you're doing. And we'll have you back soon. There'll be, as we get more people on and more people involved, I'm sure they'll have more questions, but you answered most of them today, and we're very excited.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. God bless you. Take care.